Hi, everybody. Alan Cohen here. Once again, thank you for joining me for a daily dose of sanity, a series we're doing every day in April in order to support a lot of us while we're home and to make most use of our home time and to really offset some of the fear and anxiety around the planet and really serve as a light. So that's my intention, and I know it's yours as well. I'll have a different theme each day. So, of course, you remember John Lennon's wonderful song, Imagine. It was voted the best song of the 20th century. We don't have to vote on anything, but really it shows you how popular it was. And in that song, he says, imagine no nations, no country. Imagine no religion. And he's really saying that there's a unity of humanity that transcends borders and belief systems. And so what we're experiencing now on the planet for the first time in humanity is a common purpose. Billions and billions, probably most of the people on the planet are united to heal from coronavirus, from economic setback. And what's happening is there's a joining that's unprecedented on the planet. And we even see this in this YouTube, this daily YouTube. You know, we have people writing in from Sweden. Yesterday I looked at the chat, and we had people from Sweden and Finland and Denmark and France and Portugal and Hawaii. So if you would take a moment now, just for fun, go to the chat, live chat, and just say hi from, and tell us where you are, if it's any place in the States or around the world, because this is really a chance for us to demonstrate that we're all coming together on this. Thank you for doing that. In the 1960s, when NASA started sending probes into space, for the first time, there was a photo of the entire Earth as one. And many people said that was very metaphysically symbolic because the people of Earth had grown spiritually to a point where we could vision and actually see the planet as one. So let's talk about joining today. Let's talk about the fact that we're really all in this together. No one can separate themselves out. Coronavirus is affecting people in Jewish religion and Christianity and Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and all nations and all belief systems and atheists. You see, it's kind of leveling the playing field. So we have a common purpose. So let me give you some examples of joining that are significant. A lot of you know that I'm a Course in Miracles student and teacher. A lot of you are as well. And how the Course began was an example of two people joining. Doctors Helen Schuckman and Bill Thetford were professors, and they were fighting, and there was backbiting and pettiness, and they weren't getting along at all. And one day, Bill came to Helen, and he said, Helen, there must be a better way. I can't believe we were meant to live like this. And Helen said, Bill, you're right. I'll help you find it. And not long after that, a voice began to speak to Helen, who identified herself as Jesus Christ. And it said, this is a Course in Miracles, please take notes. And from that, this magnificent metaphysical text that has healed and helped millions of people all around the world began to come. And many people attribute that moment of joining where we said, we're in this together. We do not have separate interests. They attribute that moment as the seed, the conception, the inception of the entire Course in Miracles. So look at the power of only two people coming together to support each other. What happens when 7 billion people come together to support each other? How powerful is that? And we've heard about a Chinese team that sent medical technicians to Italy to help them. And I was talking to my friend in LA the other day, and he was saying that, I said, what's going on in LA? He said, well, you go out on the street and people are nervous and they're scared, but he said they're helping each other more. I thought, well, if people learning to help each other more comes out of this, it's serving a purpose. There's a famous story about the Special Olympics many years ago when there was a foot race, and one of the runners fell down during the race. And instead of all the others running to compete to win the prize, they stopped and they picked up the kid that fell and they locked arms and they all crossed the finish line together. So I think that's the perfect metaphor for what's happening on the planet now. We have to lock arms. We're all going to cross the finish line together, no one ahead of another. We're all in this together. I had some friends many years ago who they were married for a while and then they got divorced, and they remained friends. They had a son who was very dear to them, and they remained friends and supported each other. And then many years later, the former wife got married to somebody else, and she invited her ex-husband to the wedding, and he attended. And he was sitting in the church waiting for the service to begin. And there was a guy sitting next to him. He said, well, how do you know the bride? And my friend said, well, I used to be married to her. And it just demonstrates to me that there's two ways to do anything. That there's a way where we separate and make each other wrong and compete. And there's a way where we join and help each other. And I actually have a book out about couples who choose to join and remain friends and support each other even after they break up and got divorced. And it's called Happily Even After. Happily Even After. Can You Be Friends After Lovers? Subtitled 50 Ways to Love Your Leaver. And the book is about couples who choose to support each other rather than make each other wrong, even though they decided not to live together or be married anymore. Now, that's also a good metaphor for nations because we have different national beliefs, we have different politics, we have different religious beliefs. There's a movie out called, I think it's called, oh my God, I'm not sure the exact title. I'll tell you in a subsequent video. And it's an overview, it's a documentary about people around the entire globe who believe in God in different ways. And one of the earlier scenes is where the interviewer goes to a gun shop in Texas where the person is a devout Christian. And they say, oh, anybody who doesn't believe in Jesus Christ is going to hell. Jesus is the only way. And then the interviewer goes to the Middle East and interviews a Muslim. The Quran says that anybody who doesn't believe in Allah is going to hell. Allah is the one right way. And then he goes to Jerusalem, and he found a rabbi and a Muslim imam, Muslim priest, who are walking down the street together with their arms around each other as dear friends and mutual supporters. And I thought, isn't that the shift that we're going through, where for so many years and centuries and millennia, we've been steeped in separation and divisiveness and comparison and competition, and that hasn't worked. It just doesn't work. It hasn't worked, and it never will. And what's happening now on the planet, and I think this coronavirus is in a very odd way contributing to it, is that we have to come together. We have to support each other. We have to see ourselves as one, not separate. And so let's give some thought in each of our lives to how we can join. For example, this has really made me think about how I can join with my partner D more. We have a really good relationship, but there's spaces where I feel separate or we want to do our own thing. And it's really made me go in and think about, okay, we can have our own interests and do things that we love, But at the same time, the most important element of our relationship is that we really love each other and want to support each other. And so, you might take a moment now to think about where in your life do you feel separate? Do you feel separate from your family? Do you feel separate from people of a different race or religion? Do you feel separate from the other gender? There's been a lot of gender competition. And that doesn't have to be. Wouldn't it be amazing if in the aftermath of this whole coronavirus thing, if we ended up being more united as a human family and we tried to help each other more? I remember when I lived in New Jersey in a previous life, it feels like it. People didn't talk to each other. I lived in a suburban neighborhood and neighbors hardly ever talked to each other. It was weird. But then winter would come and, one neighbor's car would get stuck in the snow and the other neighbors would come out and help push the car out of the snow. And you say, well, great to see you. Let's get together sometime. And then people go back to their houses and not see each other again until next winter. But that moment of saying, hey, we can help each other. There's more to life than what can I get out of this. I have another book out called Spirit Means Business. And I list the 10 illusions that keep us stuck in smallness and prosperity and 10 truths that offset it. And one of the illusions is that the purpose of business is to get as much as you can while giving as little as you can. People think a good business deal is, I didn't pay much and I got a lot. And the truth is, a good business deal is where everybody makes an investment and shares and supports each other. And there's a happy exchange. It's called happy money. So we might even say that a good planetary deal is where we all show up and give what we can. It's not about getting, it's about giving. And in the giving is the getting. There's a wonderful line from a prayer in A Course in Miracles that says, I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. Or I like to paraphrase, I will be healed as I allow him to heal through me. So I want to give you a little invitation or assignment if I can. After we close this video, if you want to go into the comments on YouTube, and I'd like you to list, briefly, it doesn't have to be a long paragraph, any signs that you have seen of people coming together in ways that they weren't before. Somebody you saw helping each other at the supermarket, or somebody you reached out to connect with that you haven't connected with in years. Make a short note. And I will review them, and on the next telecast, next live stream, I will tell some of those stories if they're the ones that are inspiring. And let's make this a forum where we amp up the light. There's enough bad news, God knows. God doesn't even know the bad news, but people do. And let us use this forum to bring forth news that's empowering and enlivening. We want to be a good news channel during these 15 minutes each day. We want to make this month of April the best month of our lives because we chose to join and wake up. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we look back on this month and called it the month of awakening? How cool would that be? How cool of an offset to the virus would that be? We might call it viral acts of kindness. That'll be the subtitle for this program. And I want you to write in the comments after we close or whenever you see this, viral acts of kindness that you've seen. And I think along the same lines, since I'm getting such good feedback from this, I was thinking about this. I would like to run this every day in April. We originally advertised that we're going to have this just on the weekdays, Monday through Friday. But I'm enjoying it so much, and we're getting such great feedback from all over the world, lots of comments, lots of viewers. And I think I'd like to keep the energy going. It's fun for me. I'm home anyway. I'm happy to put it out there, and it's healing for me too. So we're going to meet every day in April, including weekends, not just Monday through Friday. So, gosh, I sure love you guys. Thank you for all the wonderful comments. It's empowering, inspiring to me. And when people read your comments, either during the live chat, during the program, or afterwards, it really is an uplifter. So Let's be like the Special Olympics people who lock arms and all cross the finish line together. Love you lots. We will see you again tomorrow. Have a fabulous day. And this is a month that changed the world.